Downtown Phoenix set for Game 2 with his 3-game visit from the Cincinnati Reds. The offense broke out yesterday, 12 runs, 11 hits, including 3 homers. Now, can they keep things trending in the right direction? Welcome to D-backs Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. Game 2 of this 3-game set. The D-backs and the Reds. The offense got back on track yesterday, Bob. The key now is keep it going.
Absolutely. Double digits in runs for the first time this season for the Diamondbacks offense. And if you think back to the first month of the season, it seemed like it was a different hero every night. Well, last night, Nick Ahmed with a big 3-run homer in the second inning. He's 1 away from a career high. He's got 8 home runs right now. And Chris Owings hit number 3 in the 5th inning, also a 3-run shot. Going to need contributions from everybody.
Now, here's another guy that needs to turn things around and get them back going in the right direction. It's Zach Godley, who is still winless in the month of May.
Yeah, it's been a pretty ugly month for Zach. In 5 starts, he's 0-3 with an ERA of 5.27. He's given up 5 home runs in those 5 starts. Pitch count has been an issue for Zach Godley recently. Fastball command has evaded him, and the pitch count gets up early.
Looking for win number 2 over the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By Tire Pros of Arizona. Everything rotates around you. By APS. APS works 24/7 to keep you plugged in, powered up, and connected. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. On this Teal Tuesday, set to take the mound here at Chase Field against the Cincinnati Reds. And the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Roof is closed. Very comfortable indoors. 76 degrees. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Kate Longworth along the way. The second of this three-game series, the D-backs and the Cincinnati Reds. This is the starting lineup for the Reds today. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
A little bit of a different look for Jim Riggleman tonight. Alex Blandino will lead it off at shortstop. Tucker Barnhart once again doing the catching. Joey Votto down at first base. Scooter Gennett with a big night last night. A big season so far for the Reds second baseman. Eugenio Suarez will be at third base. Scott Schebler in right field. Adam Duvall in left field. Luis Castillo doing the pitching and batting eighth. And Billy Hamilton, the center fielder, batting ninth.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the D-backs is Zach Godley, looking for some consistency right now. Zach winless in 5 starts this month.
Yeah, coming off probably his worst outing of the season against the Milwaukee Brewers. Went only 3 1/3, gave up 7 hits and 8 runs in that ball game. And as I mentioned in the open, it's really all about fastball command. He still has that really good knuckle curve, which is a great weapon for him. He's just fallen behind in so many counts. It hasn't been as useful as it could be.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense tonight.
David Peralta in left, Gerard Dyson in center, Chris Sowings over in right field. Infield will be Jake Lamb at third, Nick Ahmed at short, Ketel Marte over at second, with Daniel Descalso getting the start at first base tonight. Alex Avila receiving pitches from right-hander Zach Godley.
Chris Conroy, a guy who likes the high strike call, is our plate umpire tonight. Brian O'Nora at first base. The crew chief, Field and Culbreth. Cubby is the second base umpire, and C.B. Bucknor is at third. Zach Godley facing a Reds team tonight on the middle stop of a 3-city West Coast swing. They dropped 2 of 3 in Denver over the weekend. 2 more to go here in Phoenix. Then they're at San Diego over the weekend. And Alex Blandino, the shortstop tonight, will lead it off. He flied out in his only at bat yesterday. 268, 1 home run. D-backs looking to continue an offensive upsurge. Last night, 12 runs, 11 hits, 3 homers. Try and keep that going here in game 2 of this 3-game series. Got some old school stirrups going on Blandino. Those are big red machine socks.
Yeah, that's like the big red machine used to wear back in the day. We were talking about it in Oakland when the Reds and the A's had those great battles in the World Series, and the Reds wore the ankle biters and the A's wore the high stirrups.
That's Cesar Geronimo, Dave Concepcion type stuff right there. Low strike call there goes Godley's way, and it's 1-2. Zach looking for quick, efficient innings here tonight. Alex Avila behind the plate. There's the curveball. Tucker Barnhart, the switch hitting catcher, on deck.
Now 3 for Zach Godley. You saw Alex Avila hang down a 3 that time. That's the cut fastball. He doesn't really throw a legitimate slider, but that cut fastball has similar movement to a right-handed slider, so they use the sign for the slider in number 3.
Godley was ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Here it is on 3-2, full count. Blandino doing what a lot of hitters have done against Godley. Wait out that curveball, lay off the cutter away, and now he's worked it full. It's a fly ball to David Peralta in left field. It's over his head and off the wall. Blandino in at second, a leadoff double.
Try to come back with that cutter away. This time he leaves it on the inside part of the plate, and Blandino hits it right over the head of David Peralta. Bangs off that wall on a hop. Carried a lot farther than it looked like it was going to off the bat.
A chance for the catcher, Tucker Barnhart. Leadoff man in scoring position for the Reds. D-backs will put 3 infielders on the first base side. Now Ahmed will go back behind the runner. Barnhart 266 and 3 homers. Marte backing up well on the outfield grass in short right field. That's what Zach Godley has got to do right there. Torey Lovullo was telling us that before the game today. Throw that curveball for a strike. That has been a pitch that Zach has historically tried to bury in the dirt, get guys to chase, and they know he's not throwing it for strikes, so they're just laying off it and waiting him out. So they like to see more curveballs for strikes. Doubled up with it right there. Strike to strike. And now he's ahead 0-2.
Well, if you're going to throw that pitch nearly 40% of the time, they can't all be in the dirt. Or as you said, hitters are just going to disregard it. You got to throw enough of them for strikes to make them respect that pitch.
They know he's got the curveball. They've also seen he's not throwing it for strikes. So that's been the adjustment to Godley. Now it's up to him to adjust to their adjustment. 3 straight curveballs, and it gets Barnhart.
2 in the strike zone, 1 out of the strike zone. Pretty good attack right there by Zach Godley. You throw 2 for strikes, and Barnhart has to now respect that pitch. He sees the rotation on that curveball again and chases one in the dirt for strike 3.
2 dangerous hitters coming up for the Reds. Here's Joey Votto, having a relatively quiet year for him. 283 and 6 homers. Marte still well back on that outfield grass at second base. Ahmed behind the runner, Blandino at short. There's the first pitch, fastball away, and it's 0-1. Votto this year hitting over 360 with runners in scoring position. He's got Blandino at second and 1 out.
And as usual, drawing a boatload of walks. 35 walks on the season against 33 strikeouts, getting on base at a 403 clip.
Another curveball into dirt. Blandino stays put. It's a tough spot for Godley because Votto is Votto, and behind him you've got the National League Player of the Week just named today, Scooter Gennett, the red hot cleanup man for the Reds, who had 3 hits here yesterday. Gets the call just a tick off the plate. Joey Votto doesn't like it. He's down 1-2.
You know, it's one thing for Joe Schmo batting 8th in the lineup to complain about a called strike, but when Joey Votto complains, he's probably right. This guy has one of the best eyes for the strike zone of any hitter in the major leagues.
Well, according to our computer, he was right that time, just a little off the plate. Not quite a borderline pitch. Does he come with a curveball now on 1-2? He shoots it the other way. Got the cutter. Billy Hatcher was waving Blandino around third, and he pulled up. That was an odd sequence right there with the third base coach and the base runner.
Yeah, just saw the tail end of Billy Hatcher down there at third base. Nice hitting by Votto to fight that high fastball off the other way. Gets through into left field for a base hit, and yeah, Hatcher not real demonstrative with his wave around third base. Blandino with a quick peek to right field. Yeah, maybe he just missed the base right there and thought he better hang on.
So they're on the corners with 1 out for Scooter Gennett, the National League's leading hitter, and named today as National League Player of the Week. Fastball got away from him. This is his numbers from last week. This will get you named Player of the Week. 12 for 24, 3 homers.
Hitting .500 for a week. Yeah, that'll do it.
And he is leading the league with a .347 batting average. He's got 10 home runs.
Nothing against Scooter Gennett, but we all know if A.J. Pollock was healthy, he'd have probably won it again.
He wins every week. Good example right there. Gennett was ready for that curveball. Saw it wasn't going to be a strike and checked his swing. Tried to anyway. 1-1. Last Reds player to lead the league in hitting, Pete Rose in 1973.
Who?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
He's from Ohio. It's been a while. Godley missing wildly with some fastballs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blandino doubled, Votto singled, 1 out. 2-1 on Scooter Gennett. On the ground to second. Blandino scores. Marte settles for the out, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati.
Well, that's too bad. Diamondbacks momentarily caught a break on that Joey Votto base hit when Blandino was not able to score. Missed the bag over there third and had to go back to the base, but Scooter Gennett with that ground ball to second base chases his home anyway.
Well, trying to keep it to 1 run here. Votto at second, 2 down now. The danger is Eugenio Suarez, who had 4 hits yesterday, batting .293 with 9 homers, and he is second in the league with those 41 runs batted in.
You know, between Gennett and Votto and Suarez, the Reds have some guys littered all over the offensive leaderboard in the National League, but hasn't equated to wins at this point. Only 19 victories on the season coming into play today.
And you throw in Duvall in left field, who's been an all-star. Schebler in right field. There was a 30 home run guy last year. They've got an offense that should put up some numbers, but they've just had no pitching.
And their defense has been shaky at best. We saw that last night.
Marte on the shortstop side of second now. 3 infielders on the left side of the field. 1-1 on Eugenio Suarez.
You mentioned a big night for Suarez last night. He's 5 for his last 10 with runners in scoring position. 3 doubles and 2 homers make up the 5 hits. He's driven in 11.
Yeah, he's been a big RBI man. 27 RBIs in 25 games this month, tied with Anthony Rizzo for the Major League RBI lead in May. Up in an RBI spot right here. That cutter misses. 2-1. All those are reasons why the Reds decided to invest in Eugenio Suarez. This spring he got a 7-year, $66 million contract extension. He has settled in as their everyday third baseman the last couple of years. Boy, Godley tripping and falling off the mound as he so often does these days. Misses with a fastball, and it's 3-1. Schebler, left-hand power on deck.
Well, this is becoming a common refrain for Zach Godley. High pitch first inning.
I'm just looking at that. 22 already. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, looking for answers. Zach has lost his last 2 starts, beaten at New York by the Mets and at Milwaukee. Last Wednesday at Miller Park he lasted less than 4 innings, walked 6. Misses down and away. First base on balls tonight, and the inning continues. There comes Mike Butcher. The walks have developed into an issue for Zach as well. He walked 6 last week in Milwaukee. The second time this year he's walked 6 in 4 or fewer innings. And he's issued at least 4 bases on balls in 3 of his last 4 starts, so it's becoming a recurrent theme here.
Hey fans, secure your tickets for the upcoming giveaways right here at Chase Field. This includes the Star Wars Paul Solo bobblehead this Saturday, the Father's Day Hawaiian shirt, and the must-have duffel bag on June 30th. And don't forget the Jake Lamb bobblehead on July 21st. Visit dbacks.com to see all the giveaway dates this season.
They'll overload the first base side against the right fielder Scott Schebler. He walked and was hit by a pitch yesterday. 2 on and 2 out. A run is in. Schebler batting .242. He's got 5 homers. Votto is the runner at second and Suarez at first. Cutter is in there. 0-1 on Schebler. There's a look at the defense. Ahmed just over on the first base side of second. Marte back in the outfield grass. Curveball, and again Zach takes a big step off the side of that mound there. That might be a real issue when Billy Hamilton comes up. If Hamilton bunts it third base side, Zach's going to be halfway to the first base coach's box.
I mean, that's the first thing Billy Hamilton looks at in a scouting report. Does the pitcher fall off to one side or the other? Can I take advantage of that?
Hamilton batting 9th here tonight. That's a foul ball in front of first base coach Freddie Benavidez. And there is Sam Noriega. There's Billy Hamilton, our center fielder for the Reds tonight, batting ninth behind the pitcher who bats eighth. Hamilton having a disappointing season in the eyes of some in Cincinnati. Godley ahead 1-2, trying to get out of this mess in the first. Foul ball for Descalso at first. Brian O'Nora down there.
As you know, partner, Shelby Miller starting for the Visalia Rawhide tonight. Got through the first inning. The first batter reached on an error. Then he struck out two of the next three batters to get out of the inning. We'll keep an eye on that tonight.
They're thinking at least a minimum of 3 affiliated starts for Shelby coming off the Tommy John surgery. So the news on Shelby has been very good. Robbie Ray also got very good news on his MRI coming off the oblique injury. He's been throwing hard. Went to the changeup and gets the strikeout along first. Reds take the early lead. D-backs coming up. Starting pitcher for the Reds, Luis Castillo, the 25-year-old right-hander. This guy is a hard thrower, upper 90s fastball, real good changeup, as you heard Gracie tell us in the pregame show. And he's unbeaten in his last 4 starts.
Yeah, 2 swing and a miss pitches, that high fastball in the upper 90s and that devastating straight changeup. The slider has been very inconsistent for Castillo this year. Be surprised if you see very many of them in the game tonight.
D-backs lineup brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealer.
Gerard Dyson leads it off in center field. Caterol Marte will be at second base with Jake Lamb at third. Daniel Descalso at first base tonight. David Peralta out in left field. Chris Owings in right. Pitch taken on the outside corner for strike 1. Alex Avila doing the catching. Nick Ahmed at short, and Zach Godley, the right-hander, on the mound.
Day off for Goldie here. Scheduled off day. Dyson walked twice in the win yesterday, hitting 181. He's homered twice. Luis Castillo in 5 starts this month has allowed a total of 9 earned runs. He's pitched very well. Got a tough luck loss against Milwaukee May 2nd. Reds lost 3-1, but since then 3-0 in 4 starts. Wins over the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Pirates. Ketel Marte will be next. Fastball is right there, and it's full 3-2. You'll see a fastball from Castillo a little more than 60% of the time, both the 4-seam and 2-seam sinker. There's a fastball away. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, for the first time this season, the Diamondbacks had 4 crooked innings last night. We like those. More crooked numbers tonight, please.
Worked out nicely last night. 4 in the second, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, and 2 more in the sixth. Home runs by Nick Ahmed, John Ryan Murphy, and Chris Owings.
60% of the scoring innings for the Diamondbacks this year have been 1 run.
Tough to win that way. This is bounced to second for Scooter Gennett. A.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Reds defense.
Left to right in the outfield will be Adam Duvall, Billy Hamilton, and Scott Schebler over in right field. Infield will be Eugenio Suarez at third, Alex Blandino at short, Scooter Gennett at second, Joey Votto at first, and Tucker Barnhart once again doing the catching tonight for right-hander Luis Castillo.
Different look to the lineup for Torey Lovullo tonight. Ketel Marte in at second base batting second. '96 just caught a seam on the edge of the strike zone, and it's 0-1. Castillo does not waste a whole lot of time out there. He works pretty quickly. 95 in on the hands. 0-2. Going to be interesting to watch this matchup tonight with Castillo. All those fastballs mid to upper 90s against a team in the D-backs that even their manager has said recently has been getting beaten by velocity as of late.
It's hard to argue that fact, but last night the Diamondbacks had some much better swings at some of the good fastballs from Homer Bailey and some of the Reds relievers.
Off the side of the mound, Blandino in there at shortstop. 2 down. Couple of ground ball outs for Castillo. That'll bring up Jake Lamb. Lamb at 239 with a home run. Now this will be an interesting matchup tonight because Castillo likes to try and elevate that fastball, especially against left-hand batters. And if he misses up, doesn't get it up quite enough, then Lamb could crush one out of here. They'll put the shift on against him. Jake singled and walked yesterday, scored a run, had an RBI. Fastball in, fastball away. It's 2-0.
One thing that kind of catches your eye on the stat sheet about Luis Castillo, he has surrendered 11 home runs this year. Only 3 pitchers in the National League have given up more, and 2 of them are his teammates.
Ouch.
Ouch is right. Homer Bailey's allowed 15. Tyler Mahley's allowed 13, and then Chase Anderson 13 as well, and then Luis Castillo with his 11.
He's giving Jake Lamb nothing to hit here. It's 3-0. Descalso, the cleanup man, on deck. That one's in there at 96.
I guess you should expect that from Reds pitchers when they start half their games at Great American Ballpark.
It's a small park, that's for sure. There's that elevated fastball. Lamb lays off a 2-out walk.
Hey fans, the D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
That looked a lot like a pitch around. I don't think the Reds particularly like that matchup a whole lot. They'll try their luck with Descalso, 246 and 5 homers. '97 in off the plate. It's 1-0. Daniel tripled and walked yesterday, scored a run.
17 pitches in the game so far for Castillo, 16 fastballs.
There's that changeup, and it's a hard changeup, 86 to 88 ish usually. But that still gets him a 10-mile-an-hour difference from his fastball. Gets a lot of swings and misses with that changeup. Fastball away on 2-0. 97. Daniel in at first base tonight. He started a game at first base over the weekend in Oakland when Goldie was the DH, so he's been over there a couple of times now. Scheduled off day for Goldie today, ahead of tomorrow's afternoon game here at 12:40 start. Descalso launches one deep right field, and there it goes. The man, 2-1 D-backs. Oh, that's what the cleanup man is supposed to do, right? Hit home runs.
That's right, and put crooked numbers on the board. Oh, just a center cut fastball at 96. Daniel had seen the fastball a couple times earlier in at bat, had it timed up, and absolutely blasts that ball to right field.
Well, as you mentioned just a moment ago, Bob, the home run ball has been a problem for Castillo. That's his 12th given up this year. This is start number 12. And it's a free jumbo jack at Jack in the Box tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink.
Well, and if indeed they were pitching around Jake Lamb, how'd that work out for you?
Not so much. There's the changeup. He's ahead of Peralta, 0-2. David batting 5th tonight in this new look lineup for Torrey. 262, 7 homers. Peralta had the day off yesterday. Chased a high fastball, but Daniel Descalso's 6th of the year gives the D-backs a 2-1 lead.
He's such a huge part of the lineup, and his presence is always felt, even though I know obviously he's not having the type of offensive year, but you always expect something great to happen. And the balance for me and the tough part is, do you want to give him a day off after he's got a couple hits? Do you want to give him a day off after he doesn't get any hits? I just figured it was the right time, the right matchup.
That's Torrey this afternoon explaining Goldie's scheduled day off. He did offer that he knows Paul internally is dealing with frustration, but complimented how he's not letting that show. Torrey said it was a struggle for him when he was a player, scuffling at the plate. He said it would get in his head, start affecting it, and soon those bad at-bats would just start to pile up, and it could be a hard thing for a player to work through. So he's very proud of what Goldie's going through, but he said it can definitely become more of a mental thing than a physical or mechanical thing at the plate.
Absolutely, Kate, and I think it's along those lines. After Goldie had a couple of singles in the game here yesterday, had an RBI, better to have an off day after a couple of hits than sit all day and think about your 0 for 4. So that was part of Torrey's thinking. He was telling us earlier today. So Goldie has the night off. Here's Adam Duvall, the left fielder, and he's quickly down 0-2 against Zach Godley. You buy that thinking at all?
Well, I know from experience how tough it is to give one of your horses a day off. You know, they want to be in there. You want them in there, but you realize it's a long journey and a lot of ball games left to play, a lot of trips. And you're going to want Goldie strong in September, too. So you got to pick a day here or there, try to match it up with another off day or give him a day off against a pitcher that he's had particular trouble against in the past. But I think not only Goldie, but everybody who is a quote-unquote regular for the Diamondbacks needs to have an occasional day off.
Especially with the quick turnaround here. You got a 12:40 first pitch tomorrow afternoon on the getaway day for the Reds. Duvall hammers that down the line and left. Off the wall and foul. Now, Torrey, I think, is obviously used to getting asked every time there's a Goldie off day, even with him having sort of an offensive downturn this year. But the answer was simple. Look, you can't play everybody every single day. You just can't do it. So Goldie will be back out there tomorrow. 12:40 start. Patrick Corbett against Sal Romano. There he is with A.J. Pollock.
Yeah, and maybe after a 2-hit game last night, or yesterday rather, an opportunity to sit on a bench and not talk about what's been going wrong. You know, some of the best advice I ever received was from a minor league hitting instructor. It was great advice. I didn't always follow it, but if you think about it, don't let one bad pitch ruin an at-bat. You swing at a high fastball out of the zone. Okay, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that, but don't let it ruin the entire at bat. He still has to throw you 2 more strikes to get you out. Don't let one bad at bat ruin a game. Okay, you left 2 runners in scoring position, your first at bat of the game. You may get an opportunity to do it again later.
Duvall skies one to right center. Dyson over there.
You know, and he just kept carrying it on out. Don't let one bad game ruin a 3-game series. Don't let one bad series ruin a homestand. You know, this game keeps moving forward with or without you, so you better get your head screwed on straight and let the negative stuff go and look for positives.
Here's the pitcher, Luis Castillo, who bats 8th for Jim Riggleman. See if Zach can get a quick out here. And one more thing about the Goldie off day. That's the kind of luck or timing or intuition, whatever you want to call it, that Torrey had almost all of last year. Look at tonight. You decide to sit Goldie. Descalso starts at first. Bang, 2-run homer. He had the magic touch. That fairy dust was working all last year. Just off the plate, but he gets the call from Chris Conroy. 3 strikeouts for Zach Godley, who, Bob, apparently is settling in now after another long first inning. This, as you mentioned, has been a trend.
Yeah, I mean, throwing 28, 25, 27, 19 pitches in the first inning. Obviously, that's really going to hamstring how deep you can pitch into the ball game unless you have some real quick single-digit innings after that first.
Base is empty. Jake Lamb comes in from third for Billy Hamilton, the speedy center fielder. Descalso even with a bag at first. First pitch swinging high in the air, short left center. Peralta. Oh, Zach Godley needed that. He got the shutdown inning. He leads it 2-1.
yesterday. He'll lead off the second inning, which leads us into our Lowe's whole team together. Most games with at least 10 runs since last year. D-backs, even with the slow start offensively this year, right near the top of the list.
Yeah, it just tells you the D-backs had a whole bunch of games with 10 or more runs last season. They're catching up this year.
This was Chris Owings in the 5th inning yesterday.
Well, just once again proves how quick Chris Owings can be on a fastball. That ball was off the plate inside, and he still got the barrel on it and hit it out of here to left field.
Just turned on that inside fastball at 94. That's got to be an encouraging sign.
Oh, yeah.
'97 from Castillo, a ball and a strike. CO yesterday, the home run. He also walked and scored 3 times. Got another inside fastball. Got under it just a bit. There's Schebler in right.
Hey fans, bring your whole family to a game with the D-backs value pack. Get a game ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi for just $25. For tickets, visit dbacks.com/value.
Well, Torey Lovullo before the game today asked a lot of questions by some of the media here. Why do you continue playing Alex Avila? Alex is obviously struggling this year, but you just can't give up on a guy like this with his track record 2 months into a 2-year contract. It just doesn't make any sense. As Torey keeps saying, we need Alex Avila, and he's in there starting at catcher tonight. There's a look at the defense against him. What do you make of that?
Well, yeah, I've only ever seen one case in all the time I've been around baseball where a player was just buried. Frank Robinson told Rennie Stennett with the Giants, "You are not going to play the rest of the year."
Wow.
Now, Rennie was at the tail end of a long-term contract, was making a lot of money, but wasn't playing particularly well. We had younger guys who were playing well, and he basically just got buried. It got to the point where he used to sit in the dugout with a pair of Stan Smith white tennis shoes on. Didn't even put his cleats on because he knew he wasn't going to get in the ball game. But Alex Avila signed a 2-year contract, left-handed hitting catcher, a guy with the track record that he has. Diamondbacks owe it to themselves to give him every opportunity to get going.
And a lot of folks obviously see John Ryan Murphy having success, and they want John Ryan back there all the time. He had a home run yesterday, but you're looking at a guy in Avila who hit over 260 last year, 14 homers. He's only 31 years old, and there's just too much there to give up on right now on May 29th.
I guess the bigger question is, how do you go about getting Alex Avila right? You know,
yes.
Playing more, playing less, more BP, less BP, whatever it takes to get this guy to be a contributing member of this offense.
Just got a piece of that fastball down right at the knees at 98. That's a tough pitch to get to. That is the $8.25 million question in Alex Avila's case. He got that 2-year contract in January. Nick Ahmed, who homered yesterday, is on deck. Full count, 3-2. It's not like Alex Avila is 36, 37 years old. It's not like he doesn't have a well-established major league track record as a good hitter. He works a walk. For more on Alex Avila, let's go down to Kate.
Well, guys, just tailoring off what you said, I think it's exactly what Torey's going through each night after he leaves the ballpark. He's trying to work through lineups to get JR more playing time because the numbers he's producing suggest that he should be in the lineup. But like you said, he's going on track record and not day-to-day what's happening with Alex. And he knows that he has the capability of bringing that bat alive. So he's just trying to toe that line and figure out how many at-bats can he give Alex to find that swing, and he wants to show him he believes in him because, as we've been talking about, when you get to step up to that plate, it can be such a mental game.
Here's Nick Ahmed. Nick homered in the second inning yesterday, a 3-run shot, his 8th of the year. This is tapped to third for Suarez. They get one, and that's it.
Zach Godley, the pitcher.
Some new walk-up music for Zach tonight.
Everybody's changing everything up.
Yeah, that was a song about broken glass and rusty barbed wire, I think.
I was going to say, that sounded like it'd be right in your wheelhouse. I see you rocking out on the plane with the headphones on.
Keep searching for songs I might be able to play.
How's the search going?
Keep coming back to the same 3 or 4 songs.
There's that slider that Castillo just shows you once in a while. He's really pretty much just a fastball changeup guy.
Yeah, I was talking to the Cowboy before the game, Jeff Brantley, who does radio along with Marty Brenneman for the Reds, and he said that slider has actually been breaking the opposite way from where it's supposed to go.
Oops. That was it again right there.
Right-handed slider to a right-handed hitter generally will move away and down a little bit, like this one right here. This is a good hard slider from Castillo, just off that outside plate. But occasionally it has the same rotation as that pitch, but it goes the other way. It goes down and into a righty, called a backup slider.
Carl Hubble used to call it a screwball. Yeah. That was another slider. We hit the third. It's 2-1 D-backs.
Go, boy, it's late. 10 minutes till 1. And Rubio Durazo with a base hit down the left field line against the San Francisco Giants at AT&T Park. Steve Finley scored all the way from first base, the only run that scored in an 18-inning marathon.
That was you managing that one.
That was a crazy, crazy night by the Bay. Man. I mean, the Giants had a chance to score in the first. They had runners at first and third with 1 out, and one of 2 line drive double plays that we were able to turn behind the Giants that night. After we scored the run in the top half of the 8th inning, Ryan Vogelsong, who was pitching and had to hit for himself because the bench was exhausted, hits a double to lead off the bottom of the inning.
Ouch.
Ouch. And then a walk. And then you got Barry Bonds coming to the plate with runners at first and second in a 1-run game. We had to pitch to him in that situation, hit into a fielder's choice. A walk loaded the bases, and then 2 fly ball outs to end the game. I'd never been happier in my life.
Alex Blandino, the shortstop, led off the game with a double. He scored the Reds' run on a Jeanette groundout. We saw Jose Peraza in there at shortstop yesterday. It's Blandino, the rookie, tonight. First-round pick out of Stanford. Yes, he went. Brian Honor's down there, and Godley's ahead 0-2.
Now, one of the more interesting things I'd ever seen in a dugout happened in that ball game. I mean, Jay Bell, I've told this story many times. He's as straight and narrow as there is. He doesn't swear. He has nothing but kind words to say about everybody. But that game was getting so crazy that at one point, Jay went down in the tunnel and came back up with a lit cigarette in his mouth and was pacing back and forth in the dugout doing his impersonation of me.
Did you smoke in the dugout?
Well, no, but
like Earl Weaver used to.
I would have if they'd allowed it at the time. But I mean, that was the game I told the guys as Blandino takes a called strike 3. I think it was like the 12th or 13th inning. Hey, if we win this ball game right here, everybody's going to show up late for spring training in Tucson next year. And then went on a couple more innings. I'll tell you what, if we win this game right here, we're all going to go to Tucson for 6 weeks and do nothing but play golf.
Instead
more
of
innings
spring
go
training.
by. Yeah, you know, I was willing to give away spring training to win that ball game.
Managing by bribery, that's a good strategy. Tucker Barnhart. Godley's retired 5 in a row now after that bumpy ride in the first inning. He's got 4 strikeouts, and he's, Bob, at least here and there throwing that curveball 4 strikes, which we mentioned would be a big thing for him, trying to turn his luck around. Sometimes he gets guys to chase, other times he's trying to throw it in the strike zone. There's a look at the defense against Barnhart, who struck out his first time up, but he's ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes. Look out.
Look out.
Benavides down there at first.
Hey, quick update on Shelby Miller pitching in Visalia tonight. Through 3 innings, he's given up 2 hits and a run, struck out 5, has not walked a batter. Listen to this: 39 pitches, 32 strikes.
You know he's fired up.
Oh, you know he is.
That's great news. And it was barely over a year ago he had his Tommy John surgery. I mean, it used to be 18 months. Now you're talking 12 or 13 for Shelby. Here's Votto on deck. 2-2 on Tucker Barnhart. I think that says a lot about, first of all, Shelby's work ethic, his desire to come back, and also his physical condition. He is in phenomenal physical condition. And it's paying off on the rehab road. Full count on the Reds catcher, 3-2. Threw the curveball for a strike and got the weak ground ball. 6 in a row set down by Godley. Bases empty, 2 outs for Votto. Votto singled away from the shift his first time up. He kind of punched it to the shortstop hole where nobody was standing. And again, the D-backs, despite that, will put 3 infielders on the first base side of second. Base hit for Votto. He's 2 for 2.
Boy, Joey Votto, such a compact swing, hitting out of that exaggerated crouch. Looks a little bit like Pete Rose up there. Takes a first pitch fastball way out of the strike zone. Godley comes right back with the same pitch, this time in the middle, and that's what Joey Votto does with pitches in the middle of the strike zone.
Our nationwide vision eye on the game. Godley now with 50 pitches, 33 strikes. He's walked 1. He struck out 4. Scooter Gennett had an RBI ground down his first time up. Gennett is hitting at a ridiculous clip right now. National League Player of the Week. 15 hits in his last 7 games, including 3 homers and 10 runs knocked in. He's hitting over 400 in the month of May, 409 with 8 home runs. That one carrying into the Reds dugout, 1-1.
Got him way out in front of a curveball that time. Must have been sitting on a heater. He caught that ball way out in front of home plate, hooked it right back over his shoulder into his own dugout.
That's a good example of another one that Zach didn't simply bury in the dirt hoping guys would chase it. Backs it up with a fastball away. He's ahead 1-2. Suarez would be next. Leading the majors in RBIs this month. 2-2 on Scooter Gennett. A bullet that goes through Descalso at first. Votto digging for third, and he'll get there. Boy, that was smashed.
Yeah, and holding on the runner down there, you don't have an opportunity to back up and give yourself some range. That ball hit right through Daniel Descalso down there at first base.
Well, a couple of 2-out singles now will put runners on the corners for Suarez. Base hit for Gennett. Suarez, who had 4 hits yesterday, walked his first time up tonight. Missed inside, 1-0. Suarez hitting nearly .380 this year with the runners in scoring position. Three defenders on the third base side. This is bounced to Lamb at third in front of Ahmed, and Godley gets the big ground ball out he needed. He strands 2, keeps it 2-1 D-backs. $50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. Right there from home, along with all of us at Chase Field. Your chance to win half the pot and help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/50-50 raffle.
And stay tuned for the post-game show where they will reveal the winning number. Jarrod Dyson leads off the bottom of the third against Luis Castillo. Dyson grounded out his first time up. Suarez comes in a step or two at third. One thing Torey Lovullo really has liked about Jarrod Dyson's at bats is his versatility with his skill set. Sometimes they ask him to do different things with his at bats. He's bunting the ball well. He's been asked to get a little more patient up there, drive the ball. They've seen him do that too. And so he's kind of unique in that he's got a different plan every time he goes up there, and he usually executes it. Fastball's upstairs, and it's 2-2.
Well, defensively, he only has one plan. Go get it.
And he's been doing that.
Boy, has he ever. Has played a stellar defensive center field.
I was asking him about how dark it was in center field in Oakland. He's like, yeah, you can't see anything out there. Because of the weird lighting at the Coliseum, there's that shadow over the warning track. He disappears into the darkness to get those. And he works a leadoff walk. That's the third walk for Castillo. Here comes Ketel Marte.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Marte grounded out his first time, batting second tonight. He had a pair of hits coming off the bench yesterday, doubled, had an RBI, scored 2 runs. Dyson 9 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught twice. Now, why is Votto standing kind of kitty corner to the bag there? That one is a rocket right in front of Dave McKay, foul. Not holding him on per se, literally with his foot on the bag. He's kind of off the bag a bit.
Yeah, occasionally Votto will kind of stray off with the runner, and on a pickoff attempt he'll completely have his back turned to the runner and just blindly swipe toward the base. Yeah, he starts out in a pretty much traditional position, but then he takes a big step forward. And almost like a secondary lead as the runner bounces off the bag, Votto bounces off the bag right with him.
Now I assume that Castillo knows he's doing that. What if he throws over?
As long as he's moving to the base as the throw is made to first base.
1-1 on Marte. There it is right there.
I mean, you can even play behind the runner and have a pickoff attempt as long as the first baseman's moving to the base as the pickoff attempt is made.
Now you see that a lot at second base,
yeah,
when the second baseman or shortstop kind of sneaks in behind the runner. That one is foul ball. It's in the corner and Dyson's on the run. He's going to stop at third. No, he's coming through the sign, and he is in there. Marte at third. It's 3-1 D-backs. There was no way Mr. Zumbayo was going to stop there. He zoomed right by Tony Perez-Chica, who had the stop sign up at third. Boy, that was just fair, too.
Yeah, it really was. Tailing fastball working its way back over the middle of the plate. Marte keeps it just fair down that right field line. And this was not a miscommunication or anything like that. Dyson just said, I ain't stopping.
No way.
I'm going to run through this. I'm going to score. Takes a quick peek right there after he hit the bag at third. Still had a chance at that point, if necessary, to slam on the brakes, but easily scores ahead of the throw.
And now Marte's at third. Here's Jake Lamb. 3 infielders on the first base side. Lamb walked and scored his first time up.
And in Tony Perez-Chica's defense, the stop sign was probably the right play under the circumstances. Nobody out in the inning. You've got your 3, 4, 5 hitters coming to the plate. Conventional wisdom is you don't want to run into an out at home plate. So he was taking the cautionary route right there, and Dyson had nothing to do with it.
Now, how do you handle that if you're the manager? Don't you have to stick up for your coach, right? I'm sure it's not a big. Tony Perez-Chica's not going to get all bent out of shape about it.
Yeah, I think I would address the player and say, hey, that's great. Good hustle. Way to go. but you better score if you run through that stop sign, because I'm going to get in your wallet if you don't.
Well, they call him Zoom. His Twitter handle is Mr. Zoom by ya, and he was zooming right by his third base coach that time.
And a great opportunity to put another crooked number on the board here. Nobody out. Runner at third base. Diamondbacks already have 1 run on the board here in the third.
Lamb ahead in the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. He likes to elevate that fastball to lefties. That's how Lamb walked his first time up, and now he's ahead 3-1. Descalso, who homered, is on deck. There's that swing and miss changeup that Castillo likes. Full count 3-2.
You know, I never experienced this particular phenomenon, but I've had fast teammates tell me they couldn't stop. Had a full head of steam, hit that bag at third. They had to target at home plate, and they just could not hit the brakes.
I can't believe that wasn't a problem for you. I've seen guys who are so slow they had to speed up to stop.
Yeah,
but,
I've seen that too.
Three-1 lead now. Chance for more here. Marte at third. Nobody out. Full count on Lamb. 3-2. That one almost clipped Brian O'Nora down there. There's Sam No Neck Noriega. He's all over it. Kathy the General Grant, our Golden Glover, down the left field line tonight. This is lifted the other way. Deep left field. Duvall at the wall, and he's got it. Marte will come on in. It's 4-1 Diamondbacks. The RBI for Jake Lamb. Here's Descalso, who launched a 2-run homer in the first off Castillo, his 6th of the year. That's after he tripled in yesterday's game. So Descalso looks at strike one, starting to heat up again maybe. Here he was, first inning.
He turned this one around. That's another one of those tailing fastballs that came right back over the heart of the plate. 101 miles an hour off the bat. 400 feet to straightaway right field.
Fastballs there. It's 0-2. D-backs with 2 in the first and 2 more here in the third. Pretty good take there on that slider. 1-2.
And kind of lost in the shuffle of that play at home plate when Dyson ran through the stop sign. Good base running by Ketel Marte. He didn't stop. He ended up at third base, which set it up for Jake Lamb to hit a sac fly to drive home another run.
Given credit for a double, took third on the throw and scored on the Lamb fly ball. Peralta, the on deck man. That one is by Suarez and into left. Descalso 2 for 2.
Well, that's a nasty pitch. 97 just above the knees on the outside corner, and Daniel just rips it into left field like he knew it was coming.
Danny Darwin, the interim pitching coach, out to visit Castillo. D-backs in a way kind of like last night. They've only got 3 hits, but they've got 4 runs. Descalso's 2-run homer and his single, Marte's RBI double. Castillo has walked 3. 2 of those walks have scored. A chance for David here. He struck out his first time up. 60 pitches for Luis Castillo, 35 for strikes. Fastball is low, 1-0. Peralta's hit safely in 6 of his last 7. Had the day off here yesterday. Right to Jeanette. They get 1. Blandino turns it. But the D-backs add 2 more. Dyson worked a walk, and then Ketel Marte. A laser right along the right field line. Mr. Zumbaya all the way in. It's 4-1 D-backs. The RBI double, Jake Lamb the sac fly. 4-1 D-backs as we start the 4th inning. And Scott Schebler, the right fielder, leads it off for Cincinnati. Schebler struck out to end the 1st. Godley so far has walked 1. He's punched out 4. Shift is on, and there's ball 1. That hurts. Schebler got hit by a pitch in the game yesterday, and now he's limping back toward the dugout.
Yeah, yesterday took one right on the outside of the right knee and didn't even flinch. Just jogged on down to first base. This one had him in a hot spot.
Jim Riggleman, the interim manager, out to have a look.
Cutter. Oh, that's the same spot he got hit yesterday.
Right on the side of the knee. Oh. Looks bad. It sounds bad too.
Oh.
Ow.
Man. I mean, there are certain areas of your body where you can get hit by a pitch and you've got some muscle, you've got something to absorb the shock of that pitch, but you take one on the knee, that's all bone down there. Schebler trying to run it off now.
Adam Duvall will be the hitter. Schebler good to go. He's going to stay in the game.
Yeah, it stopped hurting.
Oh, he feels fine now. It's going to feel great in the morning. Duvall flying out to center his first time up. Duvall had been stuck in a terrible slump going into yesterday, but he had 2 hits, drove in 4 runs. Leadoff man is on for Cincinnati. 3 infielders on the third base side against Duvall. First pitch curveball, 1-0. Right side of the infield, especially with Descalso holding Schebler on the bag, is wide open. The only guy over there is the umpire, Brian Onora. .60 pitches for Godley, 37 strikes. Good curveball right there. Along the first base side, Descalso runs out of room.
21 curveballs in this game for Zach Godley, 14 of them for strikes, including 4 swings and misses. Much better command of that curveball tonight. And his fastball as well. 23 sinkers, 15 in the zone, 13 cutters, 8 in the zone.
As Torrey was telling us today, he'd like to see Godley go strike to strike with that curveball. It used to be strike to ball, get him to chase. Maybe he needs to go strike to strike and really have them respect the idea that he'll throw that curveball for a strike. And that way you end up getting more chases like that one. 5 strikeouts for Godley.
Hey fans, Game of Thrones night is July 7th right here at Chase Field. Get a lower level game ticket and an exclusive Ice Dragon bobblehead for just $50 with the special event pack or the VIP pack for $65. Limited quantities are available. Visit dbacks.com/GOT.
That's Chase Field. There's the wall right there
for more info.
The pitcher Luis Castillo. Corners crash. Castillo pulls back, takes a strike. He struck out his first time up, trying to get a bunt down here with Schebler at first and 1 out. There's Lamb at third and on the grass. Descalso holding Schebler on the bag at first. No sign of a bunt there. Godley keeps falling off the side of the mound like that. Missed with a cutter. It's 1-1. Billy Hatcher coaching at third.
Pride of Williams, Arizona.
Shows bunt again. Bunts it foul. 1-2.
Hey, an update on Shelby Miller from Visalia. Through 5 innings now. Surrendered 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 8, has not walked a batter.
Wow, that's outstanding news.
65 pitches, 52 for strikes.
And again, they anticipate a minimum of 3 affiliated starts for Shelby Miller as he comes back from Tommy John. But there is no hard and fast number or schedule. It all depends on how he responds and how the elbow responds. 1-2. Is it a concern at all? I know the problems it presents defensively with guys who might bunt on him, but he keeps stumbling and falling off the mound.
Well, he does it so often. I think it's just part of his delivery. I mean, Bob Gibson used to radically fall off to the first base side of the mound after delivering the ball. Of course, nobody ever had the guts to bunt on Bob Gibson. Yeah, I just think it's become so much a part of his delivery, it's kind of hard to correct it at this point. That's something that probably, if you're going to correct it, should have been done a while ago.
Here's the previous pitch. I mean, he's just, yeah,
it's kind of leaping off the mound to the first base side.
I mean, think about the way Zach Greinke always is in a sort of a ready stance when he finishes up his delivery. Zach is the polar opposite of that. Greinke's got 4 gold gloves. 2-2. Got him. In with a fastball. 6 strikeouts for Godley. 2 down in the 4th. And here's Billy Hamilton, the center fielder who bats 9th. Hamilton flying out, jumped on the first pitch his first time up. Hitting .204 on the year. Schebler still at first, 2 outs. Lamb comes in from third. He didn't go, says C.B. Bucknor. Billy Hamilton, each of the last 4 seasons, stolen base totals 56, 57, 58, 59. But you can't steal if you're not on first, and that's been the problem throughout Billy's career. On base percentage is often below 300, and that's the case again this season. He blasts that one into center, however. 2 on and 2 out for Blandino.
Hooks on a fastball up in the zone, lines it right back up the middle of the field. And quite possibly that's a ball that Godley might be able to get leather on, at least knock it down had he been in a better fielding position. But as it is, it sails over his head into center field for a 2-out knock.
Blandino, the rookie shortstop, doubled and scored to lead off the ball game. He struck out looking his last time up. Schebler is the runner at second and Hamilton at first. Excuse me, accidental check swing foul. First pitch curveball. Again, Godley throwing that pitch for a strike in the strike zone. And it appears to be making a big difference for him so far. He's been in trouble most of the night, but he's only given up 1 run. Cincinnati had a pair of 2-out singles in the 3rd, and once again Godley working with a couple of 2-out base runners in the 4th. The interim manager Jim Riggleman took over in the middle of April for Brian Price after the Reds started off 3-15. They are 16-21 under Riggleman as the interim skipper. 1-1 on Blandino. Tapped up the middle. Ahmed, Marte, they get the force on Hamilton. 4-1 D-backs. Bottom 4 coming up.
for all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Well, as I always say, streaks were made to be broken. Make history and win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS. I can't even get a streak long enough to get broken. Chris Owings leads off the fourth. I know you're up there in the stratosphere as always.
I was.
No?
My new least favorite player in the major leagues, Ben Zobrist, went 0 for yesterday.
Gotcha, huh? You were up to, I think it was 6, right?
I was up to 6, and now I have a streak of 0 going.
Well, welcome to the club. Owings flying out his first time up. That's a fun game, Beat the Streak. Pick 1 or 2 players every day, and all they have to do is get a hit. Pick any player from any major league game and see how many hits and games in a row you can build your streak. Get to 56 and you win all that money. That's why all of us are penniless. Walk around here. What are you up to? Well, I'm up to 2. Well, I was at 4 yesterday, and then that guy got me. He's no good. There's that changeup from Castillo. Gets his 3rd strikeout. Alex Avila walked his first time up. Reds put the Avila shift on. Landino, the shortstop, just over there on the first base side of second. Right into the shift. Scooter Gennett. 2 outs.
Partner, you remember our key to the game was more crooked numbers tonight, and the Diamondbacks have obliged us here. In the last 2 ball games, they've had 6 innings with at least 2 runs scored. In their previous 17 games, they did it only 8 times.
The times they are changing.
Yes, they are.
Last night, 12 runs, 11 hits, 4 crooked number innings. 2 crooked numbers up there so far tonight. Here's Ahmed, who hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Nick had a pair of hits last night. He homered, scored twice, knocked in 4. This was the 2nd inning off Homer Bailey.
Appropriately named for this game.
Leading the National League in home runs allowed, Homer Bailey. Nick has in fact homered now twice in his last 4 games.
I think if you have a boy and you know he's going to be a pitcher, you should call him Double Play Bailey.
Double Duty Radcliffe, I heard of him.
Not Homer.
Yeah, that's not a good name. That's not as bad as Bob Walk, I guess. Bob Walk had a pretty good career for a guy who pitched with the name Walk.
Yeah, heavy sinker.
Doing Pirates TV now, Bob Walk. Here's the numbers on Castillo, who has walked 3. 2 of those walks have scored. He's got 3 strikeouts. Make it 4 strikeouts as he works a 1-2-3 4th inning. D-backs lead the Reds 4-1. 4-1 D-backs as we start the 5th inning here at Chase Field. It's getting hotter outside. Chaz Roberts' AC giveaway is back this year. You can nominate a family or a nonprofit organization that needs a brand new air conditioning system by logging on to chazroberts.com/coolplay by June 30th and submit your nomination. Great job by our friends at Chaz Roberts every year with their AC giveaway. Zach Godley holding a 4-1 lead. He's given up 1 run on 5 hits. He's walked 1. He struck out 6. He'll face Tucker Barnhart, Joey Votto, Scooter Gennett, 2, 3, and 4 for the Reds. Barnhart has struck out, grounded out. He's 0 for 2. Barnhart, for the first time in his career last week, was moved up into the 2nd spot in the lineup. And he's hit safely in all 5 games from the 2-hole, including yesterday. He was 1 for 5. Shift is on against him. And so he's become an offensive threat lately. In addition to his work behind the plate, he was the National League's Gold Glove catcher last year. Not the first name that pops into your mind, Tucker Barnhart, but he got the Gold Glove last year. Curveballs in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. This will be an interesting inning for Zach Godley. His spot is due to lead off the home half of the 5th inning. He's approaching 80 pitches here. See how Tortorella wants to play it. If he gets a quick inning, maybe you leave him in. If not, maybe you pull the plug. That one's off the plate, a leadoff walk.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Joey Votto has singled twice, 2 for 2. Descalso, they get 1 and they roll it. Daniel had a little trouble getting that one started, but no problem doubling off Otto at first.
Well, the ball was hit so hard, and that's what you need to start a double play. A hard hit ball that gives you a little bit of extra time to play with in case something like this happens. Daniel just couldn't find the grip initially, but still had plenty of time to get it on to Nick Ahmed at short, who relays on to Zach Godley, covering the bag. A nice 3-6-1 double play.
High hop right there for Nick as Barnhart slides right through the wickets. Base is empty, 2 down. Scooter Gennett has an RBI ground out and a hard single. Right at nice high hop, bell tie, Ketel Marte. 3 ground ball outs for Godley. He leads it 4-1.
Receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos. Sign up for the card today.
Well, Zach Godley, just as we speak, finally coming out of the dugout to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning against right-hander Luis Castillo. Boy, Zach really needed that quick 5th inning. That double play ball really bailed him out, and then Jeanette swung at the first pitch.
Now, I'm not so sure that he purchased his jersey with the card from Gila River Casinos, but we've got people wearing D-back stuff all over the country.
What are you getting at?
Check it out. That's Drake on the right, sporting the old school D-backs jersey.
How about that? That's big league right there. Representing. Well, it's a nationwide phenomenon.
I didn't see him down in the team shop. I must have missed him.
One of his flunkies was probably down there buying out the store. Swing and a miss by Godley. 5 strikeouts for Castillo's now punched out 3 the last 4 he's faced.
Yeah, you're right. That quick inning for Zach Godley probably bought him another inning out there on the mound. Had he struggled or given up a run in that inning, chances are Torrey pinch hits for him right here leading off the inning. But because he had a quick inning, he's going to get one more.
Dyson walked and scored his last time up, 0 for 1. Batting leadoff tonight. Do you have Drake on the iPad? Do you listen? Maybe he found out and decided he needed to buy a D-backs jersey.
I will now. If he's going to support the D-backs, I'll support Drake.
It's the least we can do. I've always enjoyed his coffee cakes. Drake's coffee cakes?
Don't know that one.
Different one? Base hit for Dyson.
Is that an East Coast thing?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
They didn't have those in Coshocton, apparently.
Yeah, we had the farmers market. Gerard Dyson goes down and gets a fastball, lines it into right field, on base for the 2nd time. Walked and scored back in the 3rd inning ahead of the Ketel Marte double.
On that double, he came flying around 3rd right through Tony Perez-Chica's stop sign and scored no problem. So Marte was given credit for the RBI double. He took 3rd on the throw and scored on a Jake Lamb sacrifice fly. Bounces a fastball up there, and Dyson moves up easily. Well, as you always say, Bob, you never expect from a big league pitcher a fastball in the dirt like that.
No, I mean, you just can't get into a good blocking position. You just have to try to knock it down as best you can with the glove, with the chest protector, with your bare arm, whatever you have to do when that guy spikes one in the upper 90s. He just tries to reach over and backhand it, and very smart catching right there. He used the home plate umpire, Chris Conroy, to help knock that ball down.
That one caught Conroy at 95, run on the arm there. So Dyson at 2nd, 1 out. Marte 1-1.
Boy, we know Gerard Dyson has world-class speed on the bases, and he really displayed it back in that 3rd inning. This is Marte doubling down the right field line. Statcast Gerard Dyson around the bases. You see the path there. First to home in just over 10 seconds.
Wow.
Sprint speed of 30 feet per second, a little over 30 feet per second.
That's interesting. Just for comparison's sake, Billy Hamilton, who's generally regarded as the fastest base runner in the game, had a triple in Colorado over the weekend, and he was timed by Statcast running from home to 3rd in 10.39, which is the fastest triple Statcast has ever recorded. And Dyson is right there with him step for step, going 1st to home. Fastball's in, 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, the fastest average runner in the major leagues, it might surprise some people, Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins.
Having watched what he did at the D-backs last year, that does not surprise me.
Unbelievable. What an athlete.
He's had a tough year this year, but boy, he put on a show against the D-backs at Target Field last August.
I mean, as fast as Dyson is, he's tied for 20th on the fastest average time on the bases. Now, that includes pretty much everything. 1st to 3rd, 1st to 2nd, home to 2nd, home to 3rd. As I mentioned, Byron Buxton is atop that list, 30.5 feet per second. Dyson at 29.3. But as we saw on that play, when Dyson wants to turn it up a notch or two, he's got a little extra gas in the tank.
He's got that gear that not a lot of guys have. 2-2 on Ketel Marte. High in the air along the line at third. Suarez has it in fair territory. And here's Jake Lamb, who has walked and scored and knocked it a run with a fly ball. Jake with 3 doubles and a home run in 9 games since he came back from that left shoulder sprain. Reds bullpen is busy again. Dylan Floro, the right-hander. They were busy back there all night last night.
Yeah, Reds used 4 relievers after Homer Bailey in the ball game last night. A total of 4 innings pitched out of that bullpen.
Shift is on against Lamb, who's ahead 1-0. Those are the kind of swings and misses, and Marte had one in the previous at bat that Castillo gets with that changeup. Guys see that pitch and they jump on it, and it's a lot of wild swings and misses for him.
And Castillo's approach is a lot different than Zach Greinke. Even though he throws his changeup, about the same velocity, he wants hitters to swing and miss at that pitch. Zach Greinke wants them to swing and put it into play weakly.
Landino is there with the shift on. Votto can't scoop it. Dyson coming home, and he's in there. That's 5 runs, 5-1 D-backs. Time for tacos. Back-to-back tacos.
Back-to-back tacos. I'm stuffed. It looked like a fairly routine play for Blandino. Moves a step or two to his right, makes a backhanded play up high, and then just spikes a throw in the dirt. Joey Votto really didn't stretch out at all for that ball. Looks like a catcher blocking a pitch in the dirt right there. If he reaches out, I think he could smother that ball on the short hop and make it a much easier play.
Should have ended the inning. Instead, it's E6 and a 5-1 lead. Here's Descalso. And Dyson really didn't take off until he saw that Votto couldn't find it and then broke for home. Descalso homered in the first, his 6th of the year.
Well, you can put a bow on it for Shelby Miller. His night is done after 5 innings. I mentioned 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 8, didn't walk a batter. Outstanding for Shelby Miller.
That's great news. Pitching for the Visalia Rawhide tonight, his first affiliated rehab start on the road back from Tommy John surgery. 1-1 on Descalso. Fastball right there. 1-2. Changeup is right at the knees. That's a good call by Chris Conroy, the plate umpire. But the D-backs add one more. They lead at 5-1.
5-1 lead right now as we head to the 6th, and also getting some good news as far as reinforcements making their returns. A good reading with the oblique on an MRI today for Robbie Ray. The southpaw threw a bullpen today, 15 pitches and then 10 pitches flat ground, displaying what Torrey called an aggressive fastball. Now Robbie said he's probably only at 70-75% and he'll need some time to build up his stamina and get a little bit deeper when he does return to games, so he's working on that. But right now he said he's feeling fantastic, which is great news. He's very anxious to get out there, but as you know, guys, he wants to play it smart, not rush his return. But I know for those on the disabled list, when they see performances like this from the Diamondbacks, it helps them with their rehab process.
Yeah, Kate, that was great news on Robbie. Here's Suarez to lead off the 6th inning. He drives one to dice it in center field. That ball is gone, a home run. Eugenio Suarez, that's his 10th, and it's 5-2.
Tell you what, partner, he may not be a household name, but the more you see this guy swing the bat, he's a really, really good hitter, and I mean one of the best hitters in the National League. Short, quick swing. He rarely gets fooled by anything. He rarely chases pitches out of the zone, and when he gets something he's looking for, he can barrel it up with the best of them.
That's why they decided he was worth $66 million. Hit it over the camera well out there. Guy who's leading the majors in RBIs this month. Here's Schebler. 451 feet on the Suarez homer. 112 miles an hour off the bat. Schebler has struck out and been hit in the knee by a pitch for the 2nd game in a row. Thing that Kate was mentioning about with Robbie Ray, it's a difficult injury for a pitcher because it's an oblique, and so you can't do much. But how do you keep his arm and shoulder in shape while he can't throw a ball? That's a real problem for that type of injury. Look at Schebler. This let's see, on the left. No, the first one is yesterday.
Ooh.
That one's against Matt Cook, and then tonight against Godley, same spot.
I mean, exactly the same spot, outside of the right knee. Yesterday it appeared to not do as much damage as the one from Zach Godley today.
Here's yesterday, and then here's today. Tough hop for Descalso, and he can't make a play. They're going to have to get the bullpen up now for the D-backs. Chafin warming up in a hurry down there. They score that E3.
Yeah, Daniel's going to be hung with an error this time. A 2-hopper down there to first base. Just kind of an in-between hop. He couldn't field it cleanly. By the time he gets to it, it's too late to get Schebler at first.
Mike Butcher to the mound. Sanderson Ford bullpen. There is the left-hander, Andrew Chafin. So the news, as Kate told us, very encouraging on Robbie Ray. They had him clocked low 90s today, so they've done a good job keeping that arm and shoulder in shape while the oblique has been healing. And the news on Shelby Miller, as you mentioned, Bob, really, really encouraging from Visalia tonight.
No walks. That's what's amazing. He obviously was in the strike zone all night long, punched out 8 opposing batters. A lot of strikes. You love to see that any time of the year, whether it's a rehab outing or Game 7 of the World Series. You love to see pitchers that pound that strike zone.
So Godley starts off the 6th inning with a long home run, then an E3. Here's Adam Duvall, who's 0 for 2. Hard to short. High hop for Ahmed. Marte for 1. And they roll the double play. Second double play turned behind Zach Godley tonight.
Man, not easy because Ketel Marte is coming at the bag from an odd angle. They had a little bit of a pull shift on, and Ketel was coming straight in almost from the third base side of the bag to field that throw at second base, and then really wound up and unleashed a heater across the diamond for the out at first.
Well, this is the pitcher's spot, which is 8th for Jim Riggleman. Castillo is nowhere to be seen, and we'll get a pinch hitter here. Michael Lorenzen, who is a pitcher and pitched in the ball game last night. He worked 2 innings in the game last night or yesterday I should say, through 34 pitches, and he will hit for Castillo. He must be down a few bench players or something.
Just doesn't want to burn any of his available pinch hitters in this particular situation.
I mean, he's got Brandon Dixon he could go to. He could go to Jose Peraza. The backup catcher's Tony Cruz. Jesse Winker is on the bench. Left-hand batter, but he goes with a pitcher to hit for a pitcher. And there's strike one.
Well, he did pitch and play outfield at Cal State Fullerton. He had 19 saves back in 2013 at Fullerton. He also hit .335.
Is this, you think, because it's 2 outs, bases empty?
Yeah. Why burn a pinch hitter in a situation where the best you can hope for is a solo homer?
And Zach quickly ahead 0-2. Godley has walked 2. He's got 6 strikeouts. Holding a 5-2 lead and trying to get through 6. Doesn't bite on a fastball away. A ball and 2 strikes. Former D-back David Hernandez warming up in the Red bullpen. .93 pitches, 57 strikes. 2 double plays behind him have helped out tonight. 1 in each of the last 2 innings. Curveball, and Lorenzen strikes out. Godley through 6 with a 5-2 lead. Sitting here at Chase Field. Don't forget this summer, fans, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live, over 300 hours of World Cup coverage. The biggest sporting event on the planet begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. David Peralta will lead it off against former D-back David Hernandez. On from the Cincinnati bullpen. David missed most of April with right shoulder inflammation. His 14th appearance this year, many of them more than one inning. He's given Jim Riggleman multiple innings this year out of the pen. Peralta 0 for 2. Hernandez had an appearance earlier this month at Dodger Stadium. Retired 7 of the 8 he faced over 2 1/3 scoreless. His longest relief appearance since 2009. So he's giving them some length in that Reds bullpen. Down the line and left. Out of play. Rockies got a walk-off win in extras over the Giants last night. Iannetta a single up the middle brought home the game winner. And Colorado beating up on San Francisco tonight. 10-3 Rockies. They're in the 8th inning. Looks like the Giants will get Madison Bumgarner back next week against the D-backs. He might go Tuesday for the Giants. Dodgers are hosting the Phillies. LA won last night, but the Phillies have a 3-0 lead tonight. They're in the 4th. Padres at Petco lead the Marlins 3-1. 6th inning in San Diego. Miami comes in here for 3 starting Friday. Tied him up in knots. He didn't go though, says C.B. Bucknor at 3rd. Chris Owings 0 for 2 on deck. Alex Avila after that. Outs to Jeanette at 2nd.
Hey fans, secure your tickets for the upcoming giveaways here at Chase Field. This includes the Star Wars Paul Solo Bobble this Saturday, the Father's Day Hawaiian shirts, the must-have duffel bag on the 30th, and Jake Lamb on the 21st of July. Visit dbacks.com to see all the giveaways.
That'll be a big one coming up this weekend. Here's CO, who homered here yesterday. Chris flied out in the 2nd. He struck out in the 4th. Blandino at shortstop. 2 outs. Alex Avila, the catcher. Alex has walked and grounded out 0 for 1 tonight.
Hey, partner, have another this day in baseball history, and
yeah,
it's a relative in the house. On this day back in 1959, Gus Bell went 5 for 5, including 3 consecutive home runs, helping the Reds beat the Cubs 10-4. That's Buddy Bell, the son of Gus Bell.
Boy, he was a great player.
Boy, was he ever.
Big third baseman. Texas Rangers for a long time.
Of course, Buddy has a couple boys that had something to say about baseball. Mike Bell, who's the director of the minor league operations for the Diamondbacks, and David Bell had a real nice career as a third baseman in the major leagues.
Yeah, Mike Bell is a very well regarded talent evaluator all over the majors. There's a look at the defensive alignment against Alex Avila. Yoshi Hirano getting ready in the D-back bullpen. 1-1.
Of course, all the bells from the high school in Cincinnati that's more known for being a football powerhouse, Moeller High School.
Barry Larkin's a Moeller guy,
Yeah.
I believe, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep. The whole Larkin family.
Of course, Alex comes from a baseball family. His father, Al, is the GM of the Detroit Tigers, who has had to trade his son. That can't be easy. Traded him to the Cubs at the deadline last year. That fastball is right there. Hernandez, a 1-2-3 6th inning. D-backs lead the Reds 5-2. D-backs down 1-0 in the bottom of the first. It's his 6th home run this year. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. Ketel Marte, after Dyson had walked, hits one down the line, and Mr. Zumbaya runs all the way around. Dyson ends up at third. Came home on a Jake Lamb RBI sac fly. D-backs added one more in the 5th inning on a throwing error by the shortstop Alex Blandino. Reds got one back in the 6th inning. A Eugenio Suarez homered. And so it's 5-2 D-backs as we start the 7th. And here's Yoshihisa Hirano on to face Billy Hamilton.
A really good bounce back outing for Zach Godley today as you get a look at Hirano's numbers on the season. Zach in and around the strike zone most of the night tonight, which is all he needs to do to be effective. He threw 34 curveballs in this game tonight, 24 for strikes.
And only walked 2 after the walks had become a problem all month. Had a couple of double plays turned behind him, which helped as well.
And his fastball command was much better as well. 57 fastballs, either sinkers or cutters in this game. 43 of those 57 for strikes.
Lamb it on the grass at third for Billy Hamilton. 0-1. Hamilton singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Hamilton and Gerard Dyson, we talked about their speed earlier tonight. They're also both from Mississippi. Hamilton is from Taylorsville, Mississippi. Gerard Dyson from Macomb. Gerard Dyson was a 50th round draft pick out of Southwest Mississippi Community College. Hamilton was a very highly regarded prospect, a 2nd round pick by the Reds in 2009. And he's got his 2nd hit tonight. He singled to start the 7th.
The Reds chance, and Reds fans are probably wondering why Billy Hamilton can't do this more often. 83-mile-an-hour splitter up in the zone, and for the second time in a game he bangs it right back up the middle of the field for a base hit.
Blandino doubled and scored to lead off the ball game. The rookie shortstop, 1 for 3 tonight. And of course, as always, Billy Hamilton a threat to go. 9 for 11 in his stolen base attempts this year. He has swiped at least 50 each of the last 4 seasons. .82% career. Now Hamilton goes out there to sort of adjust his mark in the dirt. Usually guys, when they call time off or timeout after a pickoff attempt, sort of brush themselves off. Hamilton walked out about 10 feet in front of him there. There's a line in the dirt. That must be important to him because he went out there and sort of straightened it out. You can see it there. His foot's on it right there.
Yep, wants to get that right foot out there where he's got just a little bit of a hole dug, kind of a starting block for a base stealer. Then you wonder why infielders get bad hops.
Kind of plants that right foot in there. 0-1 on Blandino. Hamilton holds. That fastball is there, and it's 0-2. Blandino, first round pick out of Stanford by the Reds 4 years ago, made his major league debut last month. Starting at shortstop tonight. Hamilton holding again. Lays off the splitter. A ball and 2 strikes. Blandino, when he began his big league career last month, was 1 for 17 to start, but since then he's hitting over .320. There you get an idea of how far off the bag Billy Hamilton is down there. Still holding at first, and Yoshi strikes out Blandino.
Boy, 91-mile-an-hour fastball up and out over the plate.
That pitch has got to get hit.
Yeah, usually it does get hit, but fortunately for the D-backs and Yoshi, it blows right by Blandino for the first out here in the 7th.
The catcher Tucker Barnhart walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Hamilton holds. This one is sliced down the line but foul. Hamilton that time took a couple of steps and then stopped. Andrew Chafin warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen for the 2nd time tonight. Archie Bradley, the right-hander, down there as well. We've got the switch hitter Barnhart up there right now. A couple of lefties behind him in Votto and Jeanette. Nothing yet from Hamilton. Fastball up, and it's 1-1. Looking down to Billy Hatcher at third. Splitter off the plate. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Another split coming on 1-2. Just gets a piece. Lamb's over there. They get one. And they roll the double play. Third double play turned by the D-backs infield tonight. And we stretch at Chase Field. Jake Lamb gets it started. We head to the home half of the seventh inning. It's 5-2 D-backs.
Inning. D-backs lead at 5-2 as we head to the bottom half of the seventh. Our nationwide vision eye on the game. Fastball down was fouled away. A fastball up way out of the zone, and then a series of splitters until ultimately he gets Barnhart to hit that ground ball right at Jake Lamb. On to Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, covering second base that time. And we talked about the shifts, and sometimes you have to come at the bag from an awkward angle. That time the ground ball hit to the left side, but the shortstop, Nick Ahmed, was the cover man at second base.
Three double plays by the D-backs infield tonight. Now Nick Ahmed leads off the home half against David Hernandez, the former D-back, out there for his second inning of work. After working a 1-2-3-6, Nick so far 0 for 2. Homered here yesterday. And he's homered twice in his last 4 games. Big curveball in there, and it's 0-2. Pitcher's spot is up next. Socrates Brito in the on-deck circle. Bradley warming up in the bullpen. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez 3, 4, and 5 due up in the Reds' 8th. Let's take a look at CenturyLink. What's next? The finale. We're back here early at 12:40. Matinee getaway day start. Patrick Corbin on the mound against the Reds' Sal Romano. D-backs live pregame show comes your way at high noon on Fox Sports Arizona. So sleep fast. Jeanette at second base.
A lot of hand-wringing recently, partner.
Yeah.
Over the Diamondbacks' inability to hit velocity. Guys that throw in the upper 90s. Well, I guess Luis Castillo, who had a real good fastball in the upper 90s tonight. They took 23 swings at his fastball. They swung and missed only 3 times.
Wow.
Got 3 hits off fastballs in the game against Castillo. He had 1 strikeout on a fastball. And since David Hernandez has come into the ballgame, no swings and misses at his fastball.
Brito belts one, but right at Votto. Well, Torrey was talking with us about that before the game today, and he was saying, you know, yesterday not much changed about the hitters' approach. It's just they had good results. And so the mantra from the coaches lately has been, look, get ready to hit the fastball, square it up, and then work off of that. And that approach seems to have worked here tonight.
And it worked last night, too. I mean, last night against the fastball, high velocity fastballs, 26 swings at fastballs. They only swung and missed 4 times.
It's a good sign. But it's another odd circumstance, a lot like yesterday. D-backs have a 5-2 lead, but they still only have 4 hits. Descalso was homered and singled. Marte is doubled. Dyson has a single. He singled his last time up.
And last night, if you add the relief pitchers into the mix with their high velocity fastballs, 42 swings, only 7 misses from the D-backs.
Mayor Garrett, the left-hander, warming up in the Red bullpen. D-backs hitters have taken 3 bases on balls tonight. 2 of those walks have scored, so that's helped. They've also been helped out by a Blandino throwing error that brought home a run. 2-2 on Gerard Dyson. Center field, Hamilton is right there. Hernandez retires all 6 he faced. Archie Bradley coming in, 5-2 D-backs.
Eighth with Archie Bradley on the mound. Now you'll remember this past offseason, Archie did the rounds trying to catch as many Arizona sports events as he could, and well, following in suit. The Cardinals rookie class today came to Chase Field, and highlighting the big day was when the first and second round draft picks headed out onto the mound to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Josh Rosen and Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is, of course, a Scottsdale native. He said it is a dream. He can't even believe he's living to be playing for the hometown team and to be out on a mound for the baseball team that he grew up cheering for. As for Rosen, well, he is a former Bruin standout, and when Torey Lovella, also a former Bruin, Invited him to come out here. He said he just couldn't say no.
Yeah, I noticed, Kate, how Torrey maneuvered himself behind the plate to catch the opening pitch from his fellow Bruin, Josh Rosen. There's Votto to lead it off against Archie Bradley to start the 8th inning. Torrey is a UCLA person, has John Wooden stuff, as you might imagine, all over the walls of his office. There's a Bruins football helmet in there. There's John Wooden's Pyramid of Success, all these quotes. Two balls and one strike. Votto has a pair of singles. He's hit into a double play, 2 for 3. .96 off the plate. Chris Conroy gives him the call. Joey Votto disagrees, and he's got a pretty good case.
Second fastball that's been called well off the plate on Joey Votto today. And on the first one I mentioned, you know, some guys in the lineup, you better not complain about that pitch. But Joey Votto, I think, based on what he is as a hitter, I think he's earned the right to complain about that pitch.
Nothing wrong with that one. He looks at a fastball for strike 3.
Votto maybe thinking away once again. You could see the way he reacted to that fastball. Caught plenty of plate.
Scooter Gennett has an RBI ground down and a base hit. 1 for 3 tonight. Named today National League Player of the Week. Gennett came into the game tonight leading the league in hitting, a .347 batting average. Now down to .346. He's got 10 homers. That one's right there. Archie really locating well so far. 1-1. Archie's made a few location mistakes in some of his recent outings. He's been giving up some home runs in some big spots. But really spotting that fastball well so far here tonight. There's a look from our Moss cam, as we call it here in the booth. Brian Moss giving us a look from behind the plate. Two and two. Missed away. It's full. 3-2. You got to be careful with Gennett. Over his last 20 games, he's hitting almost .440. And on deck, you've got Suarez, who launched one 450 feet his last time up. Does he stick with a fastball? Does he go knuckle curve here?
Well, he's probably going to stick with the fastball. We'll see what Alex Avila calls for back there behind the plate. That's old number 1 away again.
Knocks it out to Peralta in left field. 2 down.
Calling all kids between the ages of 10 through 16. Would you like to be part of the D-backs telecast, interview a player, and go behind the scenes to see what it takes to produce a baseball game? Then you should come out here Sunday to Chase Field for the Fox Sports Arizona Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30. Taking place up at the Sandlot during the D-backs Marlins game.
That's how we discovered our producer, Brian Henry, doing Kidcaster.
Really?
Funny thing was, it was just last month. The kid had something.
Eugenio Suarez.
He grew up fast.
He did. Suarez hit a long home run above the camera well in center field his last time up, his 10th of the year. So Suarez counting tonight 26 games this month. He's got 28 RBIs. That leads the majors. But Archie ahead 0-2. Sticking with that fastball. Suarez's homer in the 6th inning was his 8th in May. Tried a rare slider. Archie's been fooling around with that slider from time to time. You'll see one. He rarely ever throws it, and I think we just saw why.
Yeah. That's the old backup slider. It's supposed to break down low and away from a right-handed hitter. It sails up and in and knocks Suarez off the plate.
That's the pitch that he tried hard to work on when he was a starting pitcher. Never quite got a feel for it. 2-2 now on Eugenio Suarez. Back to the fastball. Misses upstairs, and it's full 3-2. Schebler on deck. Back-to-back full counts for Bradley. Pitch number 20 in the inning on the way. In the air, deep right center field. Dyson has room. 5-2 D-backs. Home half of the game coming up.
Just looking at the top of the order, when your leadoff guy has a walk and a hit and a stolen base and 2 runs, chances are pretty good you might find yourself in the victory column, right?
Yeah, you're going to have the lead most likely.
Okay, so we're going to break down the leadoff guy at least, right?
Of course, you have to.
And walks and stuff.
You love those.
And they're scoring when they walk. All of those things.
Yes.
And maybe more should they hold on.
without a doubt, more.
Okay, see, we're putting it together as we speak, Steve. Sorry, it's kind of a fluid thing. Diamondbacks Live right after this game tonight, but you've got to bring it home first.
I love your analytics.
Thank you.
Very top-end stuff there from Todd and Gracie. Thanks, guys. Gila River game summary. Bottom 8 D-backs have a 5-2 lead. And as Todd mentioned, they've had some walks that have scored. Defensively, the infield has turned 3 double plays. Descalso hit a home run. Marte a big RBI double. And Dyson's had a good night from the leadoff spot. The left-hander Amir Garrett is on to start the bottom of the 8th inning. That turns Ketel Marte around to the right side. Ball 1. Garrett can be prone to the home run ball every now and again. Knocks that one down, recovers, and throws out Marte.
It would be a challenge for Jake Lamb. He hasn't seen a lot of hard throwing lefties like Amir Garrett since coming back off the disabled list, and we know how he struggled against lefties last year, but this is a new year.
Well, the D-backs' last base hit was Dyson's 1-out single in the 5th. Their only base runner since then was Jake reaching on an error in the 5th inning, which allowed Dyson to score after a wild pitch. 0-1 on Lamb. Jake walked and scored in the 1st, had an RBI sac fly in the 3rd. There's that slider. 0-2. Brad Boxberger warming up in the D-back bullpen. Reds will have Schebler, Duvall, and the pitcher spot due up 6, 7, and 8. Billy Hamilton after that. Rockies have won. They beat the Giants 11-4. Dodgers at home trailing the Phillies 4-0 in the 6th inning. Padres at home. They lead the Marlins 5-4 also in the 6th at Petco Park. Marlins are in here for 3 starting Friday night. Full count 3-2. Descalso on deck. Slider showed up as a strike at the top of the zone, but it's a 1-out walk for Lamb. Good at that there by Jake.
I'm sorry, partner. Yeah. Sometimes pitchers can be their own worst enemy. Amir Garrett comes into this ball game. He's facing Jake Lamb, a dangerous left-handed hitter, and he starts him with 2 wicked sliders. 85 and then 84 right there on the outside corner. Good pitches, and then he tries to trick him. He throws a quick pitch way off the outside part of the plate. Then he can't find the zone with his fastball. Ends up walking Jake Lamb. Why the quick pitch? You've thrown 2 perfect sliders and got 2 feeble swings at it on the first 2 deliveries. Why are you going to try to trick him with the 3rd one?
Power left-hander like this, you got to change your approach. He starts Descalso off with a slider as well. Daniel is homered and single tonight, 2 for 3. That's after he tripled yesterday. This was Descalso with the D-backs down 1-0 in the 1st. Well, Luis Castillo is 6th of the year, made it 2-1, and they've led ever since. This should stay playable. Foul ground, 3rd base side, and Suarez is there. David Peralta now, another left-hand bat against Garrett. David 0 for 3. In the air, right field. Schebler over there with Hamilton. We hit the ninth. Brad Boxberger on his way in with a 5-2 lead. Fans, you can't watch the games on TV. Stream live D-backs games on any of your mobile devices with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by Coors Light. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Well, Brad Boxberger is on with a 3-run lead, 12 for 13 in his save opportunities this year. His last save was exactly 2 weeks ago tonight, May 15th against the Brewers. It's been a while.
Yeah, his last appearance was on the 23rd against the Brewers at Milwaukee. Just haven't had a lot of opportunities to get Brad in there in save chances. 12 out of 13 on the season. The ERA well under 2.
Scott Schebler, Adam Duvall in the pitcher spot, due up for the Reds in the 9th inning, 6, 7, and 8. Schebler is 0 for 2. He has struck out, reached on an error, and been hit by a pitch. D-backs put the shift on against the left-hand batting. Fastball right there, 0-1. Brad Boxberger, boy, you know, he's got the 90, 91 mile an hour fastball. Doesn't get a whole lot more than that. He's got the changeup, but it's always right around that box, whether it's the fastball or the changeup. Everything's on the fringes of the strike zone. Belted right to Jake Lamb, who just moved there with the shift on and a 2-strike count. How many times have we seen Jake go over there in 2-strike counts? That's why.
Right at him. Right in his tracks. Just a little bit of a bunny hop there to make the play.
Adam Duvall 0 for 3. Jesse Winker, left-hand batter, has come out in the on-deck circle to hit for Amir Garrett. Two. D-backs with back-to-back tacos, now trying to make it back-to-back wins. Twelve-5 winners here yesterday. They lead at 5-2 in the 9th. 0-2 on Adam Duvall. Got him.
just a challenge fastball outside part of the plate, mid thighs.
Here is Jesse Winker. Last man standing for the Reds. Boxberger so far 6 pitches, 6 strikes. Winker 247 with a homer.
He's been pretty good as a pinch hitter off the bench for the Reds this year. 4 for 6 in the pinch.
Shift is on. Here's 7 pitches, 7 strikes. It's 0-1. There's the changeup. A strike away. Lamb will go back to that same spot. Ahmed slides over to shortstop. 0-2 on the pinch hitter, Jesse Winker. Throw a ball just to mix things up a bit. One and two. Billy Hamilton would be next, the number 9 hitter. Coming. Ball game. Boxberger the save. D-backs win it 5-2. They are now 16-0. When they get everybody tacos, let's make this Teal Tuesday a Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, a lot of good things happening for the offense tonight. The defense was outstanding as usual, but for me it all goes back to the start by Zach Godley tonight. He was a guy that really needed a bounce back outing, and he was good tonight.
D-backs will go for the 3-game sweep tomorrow afternoon with Patrick Corbin on the mound. Back with much more from Chase Field. D-backs win it 5-2.